us wouldn't even know if others are jealous of us because we're out here grinding, not giving a f***.
Put your feelings aside, give that wild side a try. I'm not that girl.
I'm Sharon H. You fire the questions and I'm going to shoot it straight back at you with my own unapologetic candidness. Keep watching all the way to the end for my real raw take on why do some people think others are jealous of them and dealing with jealous people. Hit that like button if you've dealt with these kinds of people. Be mindful everything in this video is coming from my own perception and viewpoint. Take what advice you want and let the rest slide right off of you like Teflon. Today's question is coming from one of my Instagram followers, Kelly Wilson. Could you do a video on jealousy and how to cope with people that think everyone is jealous of them when they're really not? I'd really love that. Thanks for your question, Kelly. Oh yeah, we've all known these kinds of people, and more often than not, in my experience, it's coming from a place of fucking self-delusion. Yes, you heard that right. They actually genuinely think most others are jealous of them. When others are jealous, it's a fear that something they have will be taken away, like their partner being lured away by someone more enticing. When others are envious, they want what we have, whether it be the way we look, our status, our successes, our possessions. I think that many of us at some time have been on the receiving end of envious jabs from others. But more often than not, we don't realize ourselves this is derived from envy. We more so can't figure out why the hell this person is being backhanded or passive aggressive. Typically outsiders pick up on others' enviousness of us before we do ourselves. Some, however, assume immediately when others don't like them, it comes down to jealousy. When in actual fact, others probably don't like them because they're coming across as a self-consumed or materialistic twat waffle. Sometimes it's merely a projection because they themselves suffer from hidden enviousness. Often they're superficial, showy, and very, look at me. They don't realize that not everyone strives for this, and most don't. Everything is typically about status. They need to feel they're above others, feel good about themselves. But often this status is all show. That's what others react to. The obviousness in this, and not their so-called amazingness. Sometimes they themselves are in fact the jealous one, and their accusations and insinuations are merely projections. They are fast to pull the "they're just jealous" card. It's their favorite hand to play. Sometimes they could be right if they're surrounded by superficial, insecure people. But those that assume most everyone that doesn't like them is jealous of them, it's often a defense mechanism to bolster their own self-esteem. The kinds that in the middle of a fucking pandemic will be flaunting their fineries because this makes them feel better than others. People that see through this are not jealous. They're more likely uphold. They are so deluded. They think others are projecting the venom and toxicity, when in fact it's coming from their own ambition to be fawned over. The insecure think being all boastful and fancy makes them a cut above the rest, when in fact they're just coming across a condescending asshole. Those of class don't boast of their wealth, just as the smart don't boast of their intelligence. Nor do the truly beautiful need to tell others they're beautiful. There is something very unattractive about a boastful person whose every statement is self-serving and compliment seeking. These are the kinds that think everyone is jealous of them, and these are the kinds that could do with a good lesson in humbleness. The envious are often extremely ambitious. Now don't get me wrong, being ambitious can be a fabulous thing, but they're merely ambitious to appear better than others, the best. They won't praise anyone that's doing as good or better than them. They will find ways to subtly tear them down with mock, backhanded praise. They want people to fawn over them, tell them they're beautiful, they're wonderful. This then feeds their egotism and, I believe, narcissism, when every post on their social media is self-serving, humble bragging, or downright boasting. When their goal is nothing more than gaining followers or likes to further fuel their vanity. When they feign not caring about status, but they're like a hungry wolf preying on anyone who'll feed that hunger for adoration. They're insecure, and that ravenous beast within them is starved for validation. Others' jealousy of them feeds their hunger. They will pretend to be whatever they need to be to get their fill. Self-absorbed and desperate for compliments to fill that void within called self-doubt. Because they know it's all show. They know if they stripped away all the fakery and shiny possessions, then their substance would be hollow. On the surface, they feign being strong, independent, and powerful. But often they're full of shit. They hide behind a whole lot of piss and wind, and they stand for fuck all. They've probably never stood for anything in life except their self-adoration. And when others see them, and I mean really see them, their automatic response is jealousy. Because they know they've been caught out, so the blame shifting begins. People actually doing big things don't waste their emotions on jealousy or envy, especially when there's really nothing more than delusions of grandeur involved. The genuinely secure have purpose that goes far beyond the superficial. Many of us wouldn't even know if others are jealous of us because we're out here grinding, not giving a fuck what others think of us. Being jealous or envious of anyone for anything is completely, utterly pointless. We all get the same hours in the day. We are all given our own uniqueness. Only we can do something with it. Most couldn't give a rat's ass what the materialistic are flaunting, thinking they're all that and a bag of chips. The sad part of the world is there are so many beautiful people who pick themselves apart, and there are so many ugly-souled people who think they're the best thing since sliced bread. I've mixed with all walks of life, and those that have much often look like they wouldn't have 2 cents to rub together. And many who have little are sometimes up to their eyeballs in debt, trying to look like they have much. Credit card debts in a bid to outdo the Joneses. Envy is destructive and will destroy anyone harboring it over superficial, unimportant bullshit. I would rather hang with someone who has depth than someone shallow any day. And I'm sure most would. Someone I can let my hair down with and not feel I've got to put on airs and graces or watch my P's and Q's. We all know that ain't gonna happen. Often these people are jealous of the people they assume are jealous of them, because the other person doesn't need to put up a false front to feel whole. These people are merely making assumptions, and most likely non-factual ones. Ego-derived rubbish that shows how full of themselves they are to assume others are green over them. Some people go out of their way to make others envious. Then they have to scream it from the rooftops just so others see how enviable they are. Their ego-driven mind cannot even fathom that perhaps they soured the other person's opinion of them through arrogance and boastfulness. I personally wouldn't pay them any attention. You won't prove egotistical fantasists wrong. They label others with a label they clearly exhibit themselves. I think most of us have most likely experienced jealousy and or enviousness in some form, but I think most of us outgrew that long ago too. It's quite comical seeing grown adults trying to outdo and outshine each other with bullshittery, but kind of sad too. Often those trying too hard to hold on to their youth, but they can feel it slipping away, will try too hard to be everything they're not. And it can be off-putting. And when others even unconsciously show any indifference or disinterest towards them, they assume it's due to that eternal youth or power they're so sure they possess. I would certainly give anyone a wide berth that assumes me jealous of them, because to me that's them admitting they think they're above me. Or why the hell would they think I had something to be jealous of? Insecure people compare themselves to others. Secure people don't give a fuck. Instead of pondering why there is a pattern of people behaving a certain way towards them, they refuse to ponder what they could be doing wrong. They refuse to look inwards at how they could be reflecting to others and the signals they themselves may be giving off. It's natural the odd person here or there may be envious of us if we're seemingly doing well for ourselves. But when someone thinks everyone that doesn't kiss their ass is jealous of them, then this is a big red flag of self-obsession. Jealousy, enviousness is merely insecurity, immaturity, and toxicity. And when anyone genuinely displays these emotions towards us, it is a reflection of them and not us, often leading to cyber stalking, slander, defamation, and attempts to sabotage. But this does not mean that everyone that dislikes us, no matter who we are or what we have, comes down to envy. I know I have people dislike me. Some I may have fallen out with over the years. Some I assume comes down to my no fucks given, candid approach to life. Some perhaps dislike that I don't suffer fools like them. Others perhaps dislike that I swear. Perhaps I touch too many raw nerves, or just get on their nerves. Some may simply just have no fucking taste. But either no one is forcing them to watch me or befriend me. And if they are, it's on them. No skin off my nose, and if they're secure enough, it'll be no skin off theirs either. I'm not going to change because others don't like me. It took almost 50 years for me to like me. I sure as shit don't seek their validation. But do I think others are jealous of me? Doesn't enter my head because I just don't care. I just don't think it's normal to focus on whether others are jealous of us or not. I see it too. It's mind-numbing. Let the fabulous beings live with their delusions, but be mindful they don't drag you into them. Delusions are not real. They're illusions of the mind. Fantasies they have what we desire. When most probably desire, they just fuck right off ski with their grandiose shite. The threatened and insecure of this world will drown in jealousy and toxicity. The insecure and egotistical will thrive on those traits in another, even when they're manufactured in their own head. Secure people will never feel envious, no matter how successful their friends or acquaintances may be. Sure, somewhere deep within they may wish the same successes or luxuries for themselves. This is completely normal to see what others have accomplished and strive for the same. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on this. But to begrudge another's successes or to try to sabotage or outshine are the actions of the weak, too lazy to earn it for themselves. The insecure will taunt and make fun of those doing what they are not brave enough to do. But those brave enough to do big things don't care. They're merely white noise. The deluded will never reach the winner's podium where they think they already stand. The grandiose fantasists, no matter their delusions, will never be fairest in the land. They stand for nothing more than being superficial, where the self-centered love to grandstand. Disregard the projections of the insecure. Their vanity will be their greatest downfall. When they're really all show and no fucking substance, they're most likely the most envious of all. Thanks for watching. See ya.
Break out of your shell, meet me halfway.